Greetings, everybody. Amar here. This is the New York Take 5, and we're looking at the drawing sense hit chart again. I had noticed from my separate drawing sense hit chart in Excel, where I tracked the low numbers, that it had been 33 drawings since you did not have four numbers on the low side, low being from 1 to 19. So what I did is I went back in time and I looked at the four low occurrences of skips. And that's what this chart is here. This is four numbers low, minimum four numbers, within the New York Take 5, approximately last 4,800 draws. And the maximum skip since the first of 2005 has been 34 games. So this red bar represents the current skip of 33 games. And this red here also represents the current skip of 33. And this is the date, which is today, April 15, 2018. And these dates represents the occurrences of when you had four numbers on the low side. So for instance, this 17 here represents this bar of 17 here. So this essentially, this line here is a 4B chart that I created, and then I made this bar chart to illustrate the skips. And this red arrow represents the arrow going all the way back in time, but the maximum skip has been 34 games since the first of 2005. So if that's a trend, then hopefully it'll be a friend and it'll occur within the next two drawings. So what I did was, going back to the drawing sense hit chart, I focused on the low numbers here from 1 to 19, and these are the selections that I made. So if you look at the number 1, you can see it came in as a dormant period of 24. It had a reverse flag of 4 games, a hot skip of 3, and then another 3. So you have a 4-3-3 symmetry. All right, you have the 7 here, which has actually been the hottest number in the last 50 games. Terry certainly can testify to that. You have the 8 here, which has also been very hot. So you have a micro reverse cascade from this 9 to 5, and also this 7-8 is adjacent to this repeat that occurred of the 9. Now he told me that his power numbers will be the 8 and the 15. So the 15 is pretty decent because it does have a dormant period. The 12-15, there's no symmetry, but I have found that the sweet spot for a dormant number generally lies between 14 and 17 games. So that would be like the number 5 here and the number 15. And if you went on the high side, there's none represented. But the other good skips are these 6, the number 6, which is 11, and the number 16, which is 10, because that's that gold before cold phenomena, right? Like the 25 is a cold number. So he decided to go for the skip 15 instead of the 25. Now, I'm sorry, the skip 25. So this number 10 is actually a top pair of the 1. So I did consider it, but I figured I'd just try to play all mostly hot numbers. So I agree with the 8 here, and it does have this little adjacent kind of boom boom kind of pattern here. This 11 is within the maximum limit of a flag formation. So you have the dormant period of 13 games, then you had the hot skip of 3, the bottom of 2, and now it's a 6. So this 2-6 is really the first upstroke in a flag formation, and that's why I added it. Now, I didn't really like the 11. The 11 has had a pretty good history of failing me. So in this drawing sense hit chart, which is a separate drawing sense hit chart that I have here in Excel, this little black 0, well, the black fill with the blue represents 9 cold periods. So it's very cold. So I did play it, but I played it more because the 19 here, this gray represents 4 cold periods. So you had the dormant period of the 11, skip 11, reverse flag of 4, and then the 6 is symmetrical to the 4. So I did add the circles here as well, because these are the selections that I'm playing. I have the 1 here. You can still see the same pattern. This green represents 3 cold periods. So you have 1, 2, 3, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Just looking for the 4th hit in this 4, 3, 3 symmetry. You have the 7, 8 here, which you're looking for the adjacent. Now, I duplicated the skip 6, so that's really why I added the 11, because originally I wanted to put in this 18 because it had this intermediate skip, and this was a skip of 8, a skip of 7, and 9 is a symmetry of the 7 and 8, so it's certainly possible, but I went here with the 19 because this gray here represents 4 cold periods. Now I would have to do a separate video probably on how I count my cold periods, but this gray here is 4 cold periods. And this gray here with the white font rather, is 8 cold periods. So this is 4 and this is 8. So this is very cold and this is 9, right? So that's the way I do it, but that will have to be a separate video. So in this drawing sense hit chart here, the Gail Howard one, these red stars are the smart picks. And this A here means I agree with the smart pick. So I agree with the 1 as the smart pick here. I agree with the 19 as the smart pick here. I agree with the 22, but I'm looking for numbers on the low side. So I'm focusing there, and I put in here the numbers as well, 1, 7, 8, 11, 19. Also, 2 last digit 1s is a pretty good trend that has happened over the long-term patterns. So I'm basically looking for 4 numbers on the low side, and I'm going to trap 4 numbers with 1 line by putting all 5 of my selections on the low side. So this 19 has the dormant period, the reverse flag, the symmetry, and then I put the 11 because I'm hoping that the 11, 19 would come in together again. These here represent the skips. Okay, I format them as a way for them to jump out. So here I can see this is skip 1, which are hot skips. So it's easier to see the hot skips if you format them red than if you were just looking at the drawing sense hit chart by itself. So basically I'm looking for 4 numbers low within the next 2 games. All right, this is a live system test because I did get my aunt to put in this number for me. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't happen tonight for 4 numbers low, we'll be meeting or matching the 34 game bottom since January 1st of 2005 for that actual pattern. And here I have the skips up here again, and I've grouped the numbers here in accordance with these colors into 3 groups. This is the first group, the second group, and the third group. And I did that again down here at the bottom. So these all these stars represent the 9 smart picks that the program picked. So that's what this 9 here represents. And I agreed with most of them. And these little question marks here is because I was wondering why the 7 and 8 weren't being selected as the as smart picks, because the 7 is the hottest number in the last 50 games, and the 8 has been very hot as well. So that's why the question marks are there, because you do have to look at the smart picks to see what they're suggesting, but then also you have to be aware that there are other patterns that you can see that the pattern that the program is not selecting. So this 13 smart pick here, number 13, is a hot skip, right? You had the 10-10 symmetry, and now you're looking for a hot skip on the 13. This one is a 4-6 symmetry within the flag. Again, here this is the first upstroke of a flag formation. This 22 would also be considered a first upstroke in a flag formation. 28 is a trend reversal or a hot skip, another hot skip. This is a bottom in the flag formation, and this is I guess a hot skip. So those are the program suggestions. So I went with the 1. So my strategy basically was to get this, looking for the streak of the 1 here with the 4-3-3 symmetry, looking for an adjacent off of this 9. So you have a boom boom with the 7-8. And then I'm looking for another streak here with the 19. So it's a streak, an adjacent, and a streak. And then the 11 is a duplicate 6 off of the 19. So let's say I like this 19 and I don't, and the 19 fails, but I did guess the correct skip. I would get the 11, and I would get hopefully 17811 as a 4-number win, or 17819 as a 4-number win if I am correct with the guess of the 19. 1-8 is a top pair, 8-19 is a top pair, and again the last digit ones tend to come in. So that's my logic behind this line that I'll be playing tonight. Terry did mention to me that he liked the 8-15 as a power number, so that's certainly good. He probably will have a couple of 7s. He'll have the 1. He'll have the 4 maybe as a reverse flag. He'll definitely probably throw in the 16 as the skip 10. He'll probably put in the 14 as a trend reversal and the 13 as a trend reversal. And he probably play a couple of low numbers like the 26, which is a top pair of the 8, and probably maybe the 28 also as the hot skip. This 27 looks very good as the adjacent. So if he played, let's say, 15 low numbers, and then he played 26, 27, 28 as the high numbers, that would give you a good proportion, since you're looking for mostly low numbers to occur. So I hope this helps. Any questions, certainly post them at the bottom. Subscribe and look for my group on Facebook. It is Amar Gail Howard Lotto, AmarGHLOTTO. All right, so thanks for watching, and good luck.